Hello again and welcome back to the Project 7890. My name is John and this is my 2019 KTM 790 adventure. In this series of episodes we're talking about all the modifications I've done to this bike since new, and if you want to go back to episode 1, click on the card up in the corner. In this episode we're going to talk about the luggage I use and how I've set it up and the mistakes I've made, things I've learned so that you don't have to. If you're interested in what I've done with regard to a luggage setup, stick around and we'll go through it shortly. Also, I'd like to remind you that this bike has had an engine swap. It now has a Duke 890R engine in it. If you're interested in watching the engine swap, there's also another series here. If you click there, take you right back, 6 episodes, takes you right through the engine swap. So if you're ready to go, we'll start packing our bags and we'll start talking about how I pack this thing up for trips. Okay folks, the first thing I just want to bring your attention to is this Creger Backpack. This was purchased about 20 odd years ago and it's still going strong. It's one of the first backpacks Creger produced when they were a new company, and since then it's been a staple of my luggage system. I use this a lot locally, commuting, nipping into town, that kind of thing. So it's my go-to bag really for backpacks. Really comfortable. Love this quad lock harness, and it's one of the reasons why I've stuck with Creger. They are a British company obviously, so it's good to support some homegrown talent, and some of the stuff they've come up with lately, especially for adventure bikes, has been really good. So that's one of the main reasons why I use Creger a lot. Going back to when I first purchased the bike, obviously you heard me talk about the Perron Moto rack. The main reason for buying that rack was because at the time the Creger OS system that was out was kind of geared up. So this is one of the first bags I bought. It's the Creger OS 30 litres of basically a roll pack. It's not as robust on the outside. I wouldn't like to fault crash on it too much, but I'd say it would take a hit or two. But this was kind of my overnight bag, that kind of thing. Any kind of overnight trips, the stuff went in here, and it's worked really well. And on occasions I'd still use it if I don't have that much stuff. I would say it's perfect for, you know, sticking maybe your tent and your sleeping bag in if you've got a fairly small packable tent. But 30 litres is deadly. So that's kind of one of the other bags. That can sit on the rear rack, or you can strap it to a seat. That's another thing I use. So that was one of the first couple of things I bought. Moving on to pannier racks. When the 790 came out in 2019, there was very little available for it. The only rack you could get was basically the KTM Rack, which was a stainless steel kind of Touratech affair by the looks of it. This is the Outback Motortech one, so I waited patiently for this to become available. It's basically made out of steel. It's actually quite lightweight. This one I've retrofitted a Givey toolbox into because they are symmetrical racks. So they sit either side of the bike quite wide, but it does give you the option to have a tool box stuck in there. So that's with a cross thing. The other feature about these racks is, if I bring it a bit closer, is they have these slots, which were basically what Creger bags bolt into, strap into, I should say. So basically what happens is they click in and they fit basically straight on this rack. And it's quite ironic that Creger are now one of the main distributors for Outback Motortech within the UK now. But really good rack, good and light. It's been dropped a few times. You just paint it back black again and it tidies it up. As I said, on the bag front, to go with those, I've used the Creger OS 32s. These are quite massive. The way you can tell, obviously, the 32s, 3 dots on the side. I'm not quite sure the side. I think they may have a 35 out now for the GS boys. But when these are fitted to those racks, you need a wide load batch on the bike. It is quite noticeably wide. I'll stick a picture in here somewhere with it out in Portugal. I've used these on one TET trip in Spain and Portugal, and they were quite heavy. I probably packed too much, but this is kind of part of the reason why I'm going through this, just to let you guys know what I've used and what mistakes I've made. So with 232s on the back, you're talking 64 litres of luggage. I'm a wee bit less than that these days, or about the same, but packed differently. But the more you have, the more stuff you put in. You'll have seen lots of articles about how to pack and things like that. But these would be used, I would say, if I was going on a road-only Alps trip, where I was maybe staying in hotels or even camping. You could put enough camping kit in this to do you for a couple of weeks in the Alps. But yeah, again, I wouldn't probably take them on an off-road trip, especially on a wide load pannier. But if needs must, then you would take it. You would survive, but it wouldn't be ideal. So that was my pannier setup for a while. Obviously, with the advent of rackless systems, Moscow Moto over the back of the seat style things, Creger did come up. They did have a modular package at the time. You had the OS 6s, 12s, and 18s, which are, I used one as a tail pack, but then they brought out the OS system, which went over the back of the seat, and I migrated more towards that. So this is basically what the OS system is. I forget what it's called, Rackless System. It's basically a rack, goes over the back of the seat, works really well with a couple of 12s. These are OS 12s, and they're a lot more, they've got that kind of super strong material on the outside, really, really good. And I've dropped the bike on these so many times, and the only thing that's broken is the little clips that retain the cables. So some of them have cracked when I've whacked a bush or hit the ground. So that's a really, really good system. I'd recommend that to anybody. And the fact is that it just straps on and it comes off in seconds. You literally ping, a couple of straps, and before you know it, you're carrying it up into your hotel room or leaving it on the bike while you're camping. These bags are really good. Dry bags, of course. If you need to see anything, just go on the Creger website. I'll put a link below. I can fit my tent in here with a few other bits and bobs. And this tends to be my go-to sort of setup for maybe a weekend away. I'll throw everything into this, and I can travel pretty light. I've also used it off-road in the Tet in Spain, and it's been brilliant out there. It didn't get in the way. It was perfect for that, and just was rock solid on the bike. So yeah, thoroughly recommend that. If you're doing any kind of stuff where you want your stuff looked after and, you know, plenty of protection, totally waterproof as well. This has been through monsoon rains in Spain. Sometimes it's come away bone dry, but really, really recommend that. Other stuff, staying on the Creger theme. I'm not really one for wearing water bladders or anything, so I've always had to carry water with me. But this is just a wee Creger water pack. It's still got water in there. A couple of snug bottles. You can stick fuel or anything in there, which would be perfect if you're going camping. But that's really handy, especially in hot countries. You've got a couple of litres of water just ready to go. So that's something else that I would recommend. Main tail pack these days is, is the OS 40. This is basically a massive duffel bag, which has got an opening on both ends. As you can see, it's really light, but it does have some extra strength on top. Loads of straps to strap stuff onto. You can put tent poles down here. You can put extra stuff on top of it. You can strap the OS packs to it. So sometimes I'll run that with a couple of packs on top, and then that's strapped to the back rack. It does roll up, can roll up pretty small, so I think you can go down to 28 litres, and then it obviously has a wrap around, kind of beaver tail style, which seems to be all the rage these days, and it's super strong, straps really well, and I've never had a problem with that, even working loose. So I would thoroughly recommend one of them as well. So obviously the de Rigueur T18 backpack. I don't really use a backpack much, this one especially. I tend to use it for if I'm going to pick something up and I want it to stay dry, because there's a good dry bag in it. I don't use the bladder at all in it. I'm not really a fan of bladders. So it's been stripped out, and it's basically used as if I need to throw gloves and stuff on it. Sometimes I run it across the back like that, more for an option to have a little bit of extra storage, but also have the ability to maybe use a backpack. So sometimes it goes on there on bigger trips, but it's not used as much as maybe some of the other stuff. Speaking of OS packs, that's an OS 6. That's kind of my daily driver. it's got like tools and first aid kit in it and gloves. So it tends to stay on the bike and goes with me everywhere, so that tends to be that. And then that's basically all the Creger luggage done. So we've had a look at the racks. As I said, they're a pretty wide load. You'll see some of the pictures I'll include as we've been talking through this. It's a wide load, holds a load, but keeps the weight fairly low down because the racks do sit fairly low on the bike. It's probably worthwhile showing you. The racks are sitting there. These are quite good because these ones actually protect your exhaust as well. So, and the bike doesn't look bad with them. So it's just the fact that as soon as you put a bag on, it's quite a wide load. Okay, onto tank bags. The first tank bag I bought was basically, I think this is a Sandstone 4X Endurostan. Endurostan, obviously, Linden Poskett's pretty well known for using that. It's a really small tank bag. This is kind of my, again, a daily driver. This is the one if I'm just going out for the day, I tend to throw stuff in it. Glasses, cases, and a few bits and bobs. Nothing really, it's just to keep my purse really. But fully waterproof, clips off handy enough, and you can sort of clip it back on itself to carry it if you need to. It's been a good job. I've had no problems with that. Never really done any really big trips with it. I tend to use a bigger one because I like to carry a camera with me at times. So that's one tank bag. The next tank bag is the big beast. This one was bought solely for going to, doing big European trips. So the idea behind it was that I wanted a tank bag that my camera could fit in. I wanted a waterproof one. I didn't want one to have to take a cover out, but I also wanted the ability to run a cable. So this is the Giant Loop Fandango, I think it's called. I'll find out the inside. Comes with a base that straps to the bike, and you zip it off and tilt it over so that you can get at your fuel cap. And when I open it, I got some additional dividers in it from the guys at 790 ADVR. They developed some camera bag style pouches for the inside of it, so you can have a look there. So basically, SLR sits in here, and virtually everything there, head stickers, and you've got room for batteries and things like that. So that's all kind of velcroed in there, and it fits really well. It's well dusted, needs to get clean. And then you've got obviously your usual cable stuff, but you also have a kind of a map pocket as well. The only problem with these are they're quite pricey. I think these are nearly over 200 quid if you get them, but I think there's a UK distributor now, so it's a bit easier to get your hands on one. So that's my tank bag. I think I've went through virtually all the things I've got. Basically, I've tried out most of the Creger stuff, as you can see. I recommend Creger stuff, but no affiliate with them. I just like it. Those guys at Creger have been really good. If I've broken anything or had a problem, a quick phone call and they can sort you out with spare parts and things like that. And they've been really good in that respect. They seem to support the whole ADV scene by going to shows and stuff like that. So they always have a good presence at that. With regard to the Giant Loop bag, that's kind of one of the biggest tank bags you can get that doesn't get in your way. I've been standing up off-road on it. You don't even notice it's there. And it's obviously, you treat it as a shelf as you're riding along. The little tank bag, perfect for day-to-day stuff. And other than that, that's really the luggage systems I use. The biggest mistake I've done, and probably all of us will do, is overpack. All I can say is pack once, take it all out again, pack again, throw away. No, that's not essential. And you will find when you're traveling, the best thing you can do is buy a dry bag and some liquid soap to wash clothes. Because when you stop, you can do that in the sink at the bathroom, hang it up, and it's done. And you don't need 15 pairs of underpants for every day. You know what I mean? You need 4 or 5 pairs to get you through a couple of days till you get stuff washed, and then you can take it from there. But you guys will do your own thing. You guys will know what to do. But hopefully, for those you're new to the 790 platform, you'll see the options you have. You're absolutely spoilt for choice with the 790, 890 model now, because there's so many systems out there. There's so many guys. Far Eastern stuff, Chinese stuff that's been coming out that actually looks quite reasonable, and that's quite reasonably priced as well. If you want to go for the high-end stuff like Moscow Moto, you're spoiled for choice there. You've got some cracker bits of kit. Some of my friends have been using that when I've been following, and it hardly even moves when they're off-road. and it's really robust as well. They're built like tanks, and you know, you'll pay for it. Unfortunately, they're quite expensive systems. But then, when you look at the amount of stuff I've bought, even though I've tried panniers, didn't get on with them, and then I've went to the rackless system with the Creger, it definitely is. I'm more favourite of the rackless stuff. It's just more streamlined on the bike as well. So there you go. Anyway, I hope that was useful to you. In the next episode, we're probably going to go back on the bike and look at some of the suspension changes I've moved. But until then, thanks for watching. And if you haven't done so already, please click the subscribe button, please click the like button. But in the meantime, stay safe and keep riding.